Okay, so today we are going to start our new physics chapter, which is all about oscillations, right? So, before moving towards the oscillation, we must be familiar with the term periodic motion, right? Because um, if we're gonna understand the periodic motion, then oscillatory motion would be more clear to us. So, what we'll be initially discussing, we will be initially discussing the periodic motion, right? Now see, what is periodic motion actually? The motion which repeats itself in equal interval of time is what we call the periodic motion. A body that is moving, a body that is moving repeats its moving, yet repeat itself in equal interval of time is what we call the periodic motion. So very simple, right? Repeats itself in equal interval of time. Now see, what are the examples of periodic motion? Periodic motion example you're gonna find in your day-to-day life. What are the examples of it? For example, if you're waking up early in the morning at 6 p.m., 6 a.m., right? So your alarm rings, right? So your alarm always rings at 6 a.m. in the morning. This is what we call the periodic motion, right? Because your alarm always rings, always at 6 a.m. in the morning. Second example of it is Earth completes its revolution around the sun. It completes its one revolution around the sun in 365.25 days, since we have leap year too, right? So that's why we have taken 0.25 days. So 365.25 days the earth completed its revolution around the sun. After every 365.25th day, it will gonna complete its one revolution around the sun. So this is what we call the periodic motion, a motion which repeats itself in equal interval of time. This is what we call the periodic motion, right? So now what is oscillatory motion? Let's discuss that. Oscillatory motion, what it is actually, it is basically a periodic motion. See, what was periodic motion? A motion which repeats itself in equal interval of time. What is oscillatory motion? Oscillatory motion is actually a periodic motion, but it is to and fro, or you can say back and forth motion, right? Wait for it. It is actually periodic to and fro or back and forth motion. Now see, what does mean by this? It is periodic motion, which means oscillatory motion also repeat itself in equal interval of time. What does mean by to and fro? This very important point to be noted, right? To and fro or back and forth. What is the meaning of it? Now see, oscillatory motion is actually a motion which will gonna repeat itself in equal interval of time, but that too to and fro, to and fro, right? To and fro, or you can say back and forth. For example, we have motion under elastic restoring force, right? For example, you have a mass spring system here. Here you have your spring, and here you have your body attached to it. Here is your body, right? Now this is mass spring system. Now when you apply a force, on it, right, this body is stretched. For now this is on its mean position, right? But when we stretched it, it actually came to its extreme position, because we have stretched it. So this is extreme position. We're gonna discuss these terms. What are these actually? Right, this is extreme position. Then again it will gonna have restoring force. The restoring force Fs will gonna take this body towards the mean position. But what do you guys think? It will directly go to the mean position and it will stop? No, it will now come here. And this is also its extreme position. Now see, initially this is periodic motion, since this motion is repeating itself in equal interval of time. Alright. Secondly, this is to and fro motion. To and fro means the body is going here, then it is coming here, again going here, again coming here, again going here, again coming here, which means this is to and fro or back and forth motion, right? So this motion is what we call the oscillatory motion, periodic in addition to and fro or back and forth. And what is periodic motion? Every motion which repeats itself in equal interval of time, right? Now we have actually cleared our two basic terms, periodic motion and oscillatory motion. In the next video we're going to study simple harmonic motion, which will be of course the type of oscillatory motion. But before ending this video, I must conclude what have we learned today. We have learned periodic motion and oscillatory motion. Now what you guys can say, is every oscillatory motion a periodic motion? Is every oscillatory motion a periodic motion? Yes, every oscillatory motion are periodic motion. Since we have read here the condition, oscillatory motion are periodic motions. They repeat themselves in equal interval of time. So every oscillatory motion are periodic motion. Now what do you guys will say? Is every periodic motion an oscillatory motion? No, not every periodic motion is an oscillatory motion. Since I've already told you about the revolution of earth around the sun is also a periodic motion. But is it to and fro motion? No, it isn't to and fro motion. So if it isn't to and fro motion, how is it an oscillatory motion? So not every periodic motion is oscillatory motion, but every oscillatory motion is a periodic motion. So we have concluded every oscillatory motion is a periodic motion, but every periodic motion is not an oscillatory motion. So this was all for today. In the next video we're going to study the simple harmonic motion.